Hey everybody, how's it going? Great, awesome. I'm 21 years old. 21 years old, so one can naturally assume that I was raised in the wonderful time known as the 1990s. Now, if you were a boy like myself and you were raised in the 1990s, you were either one of two types of boys. Either a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle boy or a Power Rangers boy. Okay, maybe I'm a little too hasty. You could be both, but usually it was one or the other. As you can naturally assume by the video title, I was a Power Ranger kid. Oh yeah. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was from the 1993 to 1995. That was the one that I was all into. Just a campy little show that had three things that kids just went nuts for. It had monsters, it had karate, and it had more monsters. Anyways, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was made by Saban Entertainment, and what they did is they actually took footage from a Japanese show. The series was called Super Sentai, and this was like the 16th part of Super Sentai. Oh, what's the name? I've got the name of it. Excuse me, because I do not know how to speak Japanese, so I'm gonna butcher the hell out of this. Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranga. Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranga. Alright, whatever. Well, it took footage from that show. It was basically like the monsters were from that show, all the Rangers fighting from that show, and then Saban filmed live action segments with American actors just to fill in and make an entirely new story out of it. So they basically like kind of pseudo-recycled a Japanese show. Kinda lame, but the result was Power Rangers, and that's not lame in the slightest. So the American actors in this live action segments that Saban added, I pretty much grew up with them. So it's almost like an extended family of sorts. And now with, the wonderful invention of the internet, I can see what they're up to now, and I'm going to present that in this video. There were 5 main Rangers in the main series, and a 6th, like kind of bonus Ranger. So we have red, black, blue, yellow, pink, and then the Green Ranger started off as a villain, but then he turned good, so we got our 6 Rangers. A happy little Ranger family. We'll start with the Red Ranger, because he was kind of the leader. So the Red Ranger was Jason, and he was played by Austin St. John. Alright, Mr. St. John is now 34 years old, and he actually left Power Rangers halfway through season 2. There was a dispute with money and contract issues, so he bailed. He popped up later as his character later in other Power Rangers, but other than that, he actually left acting in 2003, and these are the pictures I could find. So here's him as the Power Ranger. Yes, very nice. And him now. I think my childhood just like pooped its pants a little bit. It's kind of sad. But anyway, appearances aside, nothing against you, Mr. St. John. You were like my childhood hero. He is now a paramedic, and I got 2 different sources. He's either a paramedic in Washington, D.C. or Sterling, Virginia. Sterling, Virginia sounds a little more specific. Hey, if anybody out there is from Sterling, Virginia, and you have been medically assisted by Mr. Red Ranger himself, just let me know. Yeah, woo. Alright, next up is the Black Ranger, otherwise known as Zack, played by Walter Emmanuel Jones. And at the time of this video, he is 39, and he too left the show due to pay disputes, money. He pops up every now and again. After he left Power Rangers, he came back on Power Rangers a few times, and he voiced some villains. Never reprised his role as Black Ranger, though, unfortunately. He's popped up in little movies here and there as little roles, like he was in House of the Dead 2 as a zombie that pops out of a locker. I mean, nothing huge. But he actually last July, I think it was? I didn't write it down. But he was arrested for DUI charges in 2009. And just this last April 2010, the charges were dropped because he paid his $200 in court charges. It's a real punishment right there. Okay, well, here's him then. There you go, yeah, there's Zack. And him now. Not a huge difference. He held up pretty well. Alright, so next up is the Blue Ranger, Billy, played by David Yost. David Yost. I feel stupid saying Yost, so I'm going to say David Yost. If it's wrong, I'm really sorry, Mr. Yost. Yost. He's 41 years old. He kind of was on and off the show as well. He lasted a little longer. He didn't have any contract issues, so he stayed on the show for quite a while. In 2002, he was in a play called Fallen Guardian Angels. The play was to benefit AIDS and AIDS research. Mr. Yost actually raised $5,000. Not too shabby. He's got some production credits. He was producer of a couple reality shows, I think like Temptation Island and some other, just a bunch of little projects. But he's actually making his return to film in 2010 with an action movie called Degenerates, I believe. Degenerate, not plural, singular. But he lives in Roseville, California, and he's got a franchise called Z Pizza. Alright, well, here's him then as everyone's favorite technophile Blue Ranger. And here's him now. Just a little balder. But hey, it looks good on him. He's definitely a graceful 41, graceful 40. Okay, so next up is the Yellow Ranger, Trini, and she, oh, I'm so sorry. Thuy Trang, I think her name is. It's spelled T-H-U-Y, her first name. Thuy Trang, Ms. Trang. She actually died at age 27 on September 3rd, 2001. So she had a few acting roles after Power Rangers. She also left the show due to contract dispute. If you watch the Crow, City of Angels, which is the second Crow movie, she's a villain in that. But yeah, in 2001, she actually died in a car accident. She was going to be a bridesmaid in a friend's wedding and unfortunately passed away. I don't know the details of the car accident, but yeah, very sad. And may Miss Trang rest in peace. So yes, here's her on the show. And then here's a picture, obviously a little more dated, but you know, 2001 or before. So yes, again, Miss Trang, rest in peace. You done good. You were a Power Ranger, and that's something to be proud of. Alright, next up we got the Pink Ranger, Kimberly, played by the lovely Amy Jo Johnson. Ms. Johnson's 39 years old, and she's had a relatively steady acting career. She's, I think she popped out a few kids, but she's, you know, done a few roles here and there, a lot of TV. She's on TV right now, so if you've ever wondered, I wonder whatever happened to the Pink Ranger, just go to CBS and turn on the show Flashpoint. It's a police drama. I think it's about SWAT. I didn't really watch it, but yeah, she's one of the lead roles on there, so good for you, Amy. Good for you, Amy Jo Johnson. So yeah, here's her, little teenage heartthrob on Power Rangers that every boy had a crush on and every girl wanted to be. Don't even deny it. That was totally the truth. Well, at least it was in my school. Anyway, and here's her now. Another case of aging very, very gracefully. Next up is the Green Ranger, Tommy, played by Jason David Frank. Loving the three name. Mr. Frank is 36 years old, and he's popped up as Tommy, not just the Green Ranger, but the character Tommy, a buttload of times. He's like the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the Red Ranger later on. He's like just a butt ton of Rangers. But apart from that, he owns a bunch of martial arts dojos. More notably now, he's actually gotten into mixed martial arts. So he's kind of like working towards UFC status. And he's fought, I think the records I looked up, he's fought 4 times and he's won all 4 fights. So hey, still kicking ass after all these years. Anyway, here's him on the show with that trademark ponytail. And here's him now. Looking pretty killer, I'm not gonna lie. Looking like kind of a badass. But yeah, that's that. If you ever wondered what happened to the Power Rangers, there you go. There you go. Alright, thank you all very much for watching, and bye.